Welcome back to my channel. Donna Parsons here, and today we are going to tackle pivot tables in 3, yes, I said 3 minutes. So I'm going to start the timer and let's begin. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a table such as what I have, and with headers across the top. And the first thing you need to do is make sure that you are inside that table. So left click your mouse anywhere inside that table. Okay? Does not matter where, just left click inside of it. So it knows that you want that table as your pivot table. You're going to come up to the top. You're going to come up to the Insert tab across the top in Excel. And on the left-hand side in the Tables section, you are going to select the icon called Pivot Table. Now, by default, because I was inside the table and I had you left-click inside the table, it's automatically going to put a marquee that surrounds the entire table. And you want to make sure by default, New Worksheet radio button is selected, and go ahead and click OK. Now you have your pivot table data that's going to show up on the left, and on the right hand side you have your pivot table fields. So at this point, for example, I want department, so I'm going to put a little check mark in that department, and I am going to put a check mark on next to the salary. And you can see how easy it is to create a pivot table. If I wanted to add, for example, position, you can see that now the positions are also added to that table, okay, that pivot table. You can also drag and drop the positions. So for example, I can drag and drop the positions. I can drag and drop them depending upon where I want that table positions to be, that pivot table. So you can see it is very easy to create a pivot table and move around the data that you may or may not want to do. So I just left clicked on shift, and now I'm adding the sum of the shift, the count of the departments. I can uncheck, for example, positions and just do shifts and salary. So it's incredibly easy to do a pivot table. Now if I come down to the bottom left hand corner, you can see that the original sheet is still intact. Over to the left is now my sheet. If I left click away from the pivot table, it may pivot table to the right, the fields go away. If I left click inside the pivot table, my pivot table fields show back up. So there you go. 3 minutes, pivot tables. Enjoy.